music, R&B, hip hop, pop,
I still get you.
reggae, EDM, indie, old school,
Side. Check it.
and sports talk.
Right here.
WorldStarHitRadio.com.
Welcome. This is Jacqueline Waller, the host of Connecting Atlanta Radio, where we air live every Tuesday at most of the time at 8 o'clock p.m. at WorldStarHitRadio.com, and where we have special guests that come in once a week. And this week we have a gentleman by the name of McCurdy, who used to play pro baseball down in Miami, and is decided to come give us his presence today. So thank you. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So tell us a little bit about how you got into, like baseball, and like how you got into the, professional baseball and stuff like that.
I'm sure there's people wondering about that, how, with their children.
And what position did you have?
I was a pitcher.
Oh, wow,
right-handed
okay.
pitcher.
And what was the fast? I know I asked you other questions first, but what was like your fastest, I guess that they radar, whatever, pitch?
95.
Wow.
Has been registered, but obviously that, I think, was a double off the wall, so not very good. It was a hard hit.
Oh, okay.
But yes, most effective 88 to 91.
Okay.
So, that was when I was getting ground balls and getting outs. That's the main thing.
Okay. Oh yeah. Definitely want to strike them out.
The story is I guess it's pretty intriguing. For a small town guy from a town of 3,000 people, small 4A school in Alabama, Thomasville, Alabama.
Yeah, because you don't sound like you're from Miami, so.
No. I would love to live there one day, so, that's on the checklist. But I did not have any four-year offers, no, Auburn or Alabama or any four-year college, so I had to choose, go the junior college route.
Oh,
and
wow,
it's
okay.
It's a two-year program, basically,
Right.
and it was luckily about an hour and a half from my hometown.
Okay.
So I didn't miss home too bad. I was right there. And really, my junior college coach, Keith Griffin, was his name. I tell this story all the time. But he made me into who I was, or who I am today, as far as a baseball player and a coach, and now a salesman. But
Okay.
he had a tough attitude. Grind it. Really pushed us hard.
Okay.
It's the things you can't do today. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the type of coaching, the style of coaching, where there's yelling, there's some running, there's some discipline. He really instilled a lot of discipline.
There's a lot of wussies today, but I'm not going to go there.
You said it. I didn't say it. But it really, the school, I was not the brightest student.
Okay.
I was smart, but I was not, I come from a family of project engineers, mechanical engineers.
Oh, wow, okay.
But I chose the sports direction, and so did my other brother, but they had the brains. I really believe it, but I got a little bit more ability, I guess. But 2 years of junior college, I was lucky enough to get drafted twice.
Okay, nice.
And the opportunities were there to go play pro ball early. But Oklahoma State is a relatively big program baseball wise, and I was excited to have the opportunity to go there. So it was a no-brainer. Obviously, we're not talking $1 million signing bonus here to go, or I would have gone. I would have been a professional baseball player. But Oklahoma State, John Farrell, the manager of the Boston Red Sox right now, that's who came and recruited me.
Nice.
And he was my pitching coach at Oklahoma State.
Okay.
And so the chance to learn from the coaches that I've had in the past was hands down the
but
best
invaluable
decision.
stuff too, not just stuff with baseball, but stuff about life and discipline and moving forward and stuff. What would you say is probably like the greatest tips that he probably, or things that he taught you when he was coaching you?
Wow. Just be who you are. Don't try to be well, let's see who was there. Scott Baker was a right-handed pitcher, ended up I think he was a second round pick with the Minnesota Twins.
Okay.
Pitched 10 years in the big leagues. I mean, the guy he's done it all. He was, I think, 92 to 95 with a really, really good curveball. And I had more of a slider, a slurve. I was not as good as Scott Baker.
Okay.
Physically.
Okay.
Okay. But
who's with the Marlins now or something?
No,
like that?
Scott Baker,
Oh.
he was with the Minnesota Twins.
Okay,
I believe he has since retired. I have not talked to him in a few years, but
who was the guy that you said earlier got signed by 300?
Giancarlo Stanton.
Okay,
He used to go by Mike Stanton. So
okay.
I believe as a former teammate, I just jumped in with all those other guys, calling him Mike. We all we want to be like Mike.
Right,
Michael Jordan. Right. I mean, this guy was, I think, 18 years old, hit 42 home runs in low A.
Wow.
I mean, he was on the fast track, and I guess he wanted to go with his middle name. It's one of his names. It's
wow.
Giancarlo Michael. I mean, I'm not real sure, but I would still call him Mike today.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to bump into him one day at the Braves game, and I'm going to say hello.
What's up, Mike?
That's right. But, I mean, he signs a $300 million contract, and, I mean, obviously I would love to still be pitching today,
right.
With the money that's being thrown around.
Right.
But I had my fun at 9 years. After Oklahoma State, my senior year, got drafted, was fortunate enough to get drafted again. And, just made the most of it. I was a senior sign guy who doesn't get a lot of money, who doesn't get a lot of chances.
Right.
But if you stay healthy and you put up decent numbers through the system, you have a chance to climb the ranks. And I was fortunate enough to pitch in AAA the last 3 years of my career. And in the 9th year, I had elbow surgery, Tommy John.
Wow.
The infamous Tommy John surgery. So
what's that? I don't know what that is.
It's an elbow. It's a ligament.
Okay. I've pulled ligaments in both my knees, so I understand.
That's ACL or MCL.
Yeah, so I understand. So I understand the pain between that. So yeah, that's huge. That's worse than a broken bone. In case people don't understand
I believe so.
Yes.
The rehab is ridiculous.
Yes. I mean, I don't know that physically, but it's definitely pain-wise and the way you have to come back and all that stuff. And the longer it takes to heal and everything I feel like it's just way worse than any broken bone that you could ever get.
Exactly right.
So, yeah.
I agree. I broke my wrist my sophomore year in high school, and I was tackled from behind. I believe it or not, I played football. So
okay, all right.
That's one of my claims to fame, high school football.
And what position did you play,
buddy? I was a quarterback. I was a quarterback, and I was too small to play anything else, and I was too slow. So all I had to do was turn and hand off and get out of the way and let the guys go.
Like Marino's last few years that he played football.
He was good. He was really good.
And look, I met Marino down in Boca Raton and got an autograph from him for my dad, and he just put "Happy Birthday, Fred" on there, and I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
It's great when you meet the celebrities, number one, and then when they're kind enough and nice enough to personalize an autograph.
Right, on a napkin that he did. I was like, hey, that's great. Thank you.
No doubt. I would love to have one. If I bump into him, I'm going to do the same thing.
Definitely do it. I was younger then, and it was for my dad, so I don't know if he'd be able to get away with the same thing. So.
I would say for myself. I would say for me. Please, Mr. Marino. Please. I would say Mr. Marino.
As a fellow professional sports player from one to the other, I'll give you my autograph if you'd like it.
I would have to drop that.
I would trade autographs with you.
I would.
So in baseball, you have like, is it like A, AA, AAA, and then is it major leagues, or how does it go?
Believe it or not, there's 7 minor league teams for most affiliations. There may be 6 for one, and I don't think there's any more than 7. But there's a Gulf Coast League, which is, or the Arizona League. So the spring training site, if you're in Florida, is called the Gulf Coast League. If you're in Arizona, which about half the teams are in Arizona, that's the Arizona League. That's rookie ball. That's your basic. They can have 16. When you're Dominican or Puerto Rican. I mean, not really Puerto Rican, but Latin, Venezuelan. They can sign you at 16 years old and bring you over to the States. They have to wait till you're 16, but they get you very early, very young. very raw. So they're not ready for a low A, double A. It's really by age. It's like an age group.
They see like a lot of potential in them, and they bring them over while they can mold them into who they want them to be.
And most teams have a Venezuelan summer league or a Dominican summer league or a Mexican summer league.
Right.
I mean, there's professional leagues everywhere.
Okay.
Right? So those players will come over for spring training. They will get evaluated, and then if they're not ready to stay here and be on one of the 7 teams here in the States, they can send them back over there and they can play and make sure they get their ABs, their at-bats, or their innings pitching. So it's a win-win.
And do they go to school and stuff while they're over here too? And
they do take English classes. I know that for a fact. I mean, it's and I tried to learn Spanish just from those guys, and some of them made jokes because they would always ask me something in English and I would try to answer in Spanish. And they're like, "You're not helping me. You got to help me learn English." And I'm like, "Well, you got to help me learn Spanish."
Right.
It's a two-way street here.
Right.
So, but it was very fun. But Gulf Coast League, it's rookie ball, rookie ball, rookie ball. 3 levels of rookie ball, which is short season. 76 games, because a full season team is 142 games.
Right.
And then the big leagues is obviously 162 games.
Okay.
So you have 4 full season teams and 3 short season teams.
Right.
As a player, you're in spring training, you want to break camp with a full season team because you don't want to stay in spring training any longer than you have to.
Right.
And that's basically when those guys break for the full season team, the other guys, that are going to fill out the other 3 teams, they're going to stick around and do the same thing. It is Groundhog Day. For all you baseball nuts out there that want to play professional baseball, you have to be dedicated. It
has to be a passion of yours.
For sure. I mean, it is a grinding job. Minor leagues, there's not a lot of money in it.
So did you work as well while you did that?
And you're playing for 6 months. So 6 months, you got to find something to do because you're not getting paid during that 6 month off season. And
you're not making enough to cover yourself for the other 6 months. So you also did some coaching as well, right?
That's
so tell us, when did you do that? And yeah.
You got after the surgery in 2009, I was able to rehab with the Marlins, which is the first 7 months of any rehab or any post-surgery is the most critical. And so I was very fortunate that they hung on to me, allowed me to go through the rehab process, and then in November I became a free agent. But in their eyes, I was a healthy free agent. So they didn't sign me back, but there was a couple other guys that had surgery, so there's no hard feeling that they let go as well.
Right.
It's just part of the business. And I knew as a 30-year-old free agent with no time in the big leagues, I was an average right-hander. I mean, at best. I was 88 to 91.
I guess the people in the major, the players, the pitchers there.
It used to be the other way around. It used to be the minor leagues would be an average fastball would be around 92 miles an hour. And then when you get to the big leagues, the average fastball was 89, 90.
Oh, wow.
And that wasn't very long ago. But now that number's climbing, and
because other people have broke the mold and stuff like that, and
the number of 95 plus arms are out.
So do you think that has a lot to do with like all those not saying with you personally, but like with a lot of the hidden steroids and stuff like that they say if your standard averages, because it's not like, I mean, some of the players have gotten a little bit bigger per se, but it's not like humans have become like Goliaths in comparison to like before.
Well, I know. I mean, they were obviously there, 5-10 years ago. I mean, heavily. Yeah. Nowadays, I think the 5th person just tested positive. Almost they got busted, but he tested positive for a steroid, and it's an 80-game suspension your first time. So the guys are. Go ahead. Do they test for like the specific type of steroid? Because a lot of times if you have allergies or if there's certain things, like you take steroids to combat whatever issues or to help your muscle, like if you've been injured or anything. So do they look for the different types of steroids, or is it like just all of them and like you're screwed either way? If you are taking a medication, a steroid medication, for anything, for any reason, if it's prescribed by a doctor, even Adderall, I mean, and It's just, if you have if it's written documentation, or documented there, you're fine. But
Okay.
if you test positive before that's been documented, it doesn't matter.
That's
They will not, even in an appeal process, it generally will not work in your favor.
Right.
So no, I never tested positive. I wish I didn't have. I wish I had a short sleeve shirt on, but I never tested positive for anything.
Look, I don't have any track marks.
My brother Ben made a very noteworthy comment to one of his friends because I played during, I guess, the heightened steroid era. But obviously in the minor leagues, maybe some guys were doing it to get to the big leagues, and then they back off because now they're getting paid. They got to stay healthy. But one of his friends asked him, says, "Man, is your brother taking steroids? You got to tell me. I mean, he's got to be, no doubt." And Ben said, "That means," he said, "I know he's not, because if he was, that would mean he'd have to work out." I was not a gym rat.
Really?
Not a gym
Okay.
rat. And evidently, if you're on steroids, you might need you have to go to the gym. You have to do something to make the steroids effective.
Worked, yeah.
That's exactly right. So he knew that I was not going to step foot in a weight room unless I really.
So did you work out a lot and train a lot when you were playing professionally, or
I did run.
You just did it running. So you're like the cardio guy.
Yes, pitchers run, and we are known as a track team. I mean, really, that's all you can do is throw and run.
Right. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
And you want to stay healthy. There a lot of pitchers are in the weight room, now, and it frightens me to death. I was briefly a pitching coach, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I just wanted to stay as long and loose as I could as a pitcher. And as long as I was healthy, I was not going to end my career in the weight room.
Right. Oh, yeah, because then you could strain your arm. You could do all
back.
That makes sense.
Anything. You tweak your knees. There's just a little bit of weight shifted the wrong way.
It's crazy.
It frightened me, so I just said,
Forget
I'm healthy. I'm pushing forward without it. So why do I need it now? Looking back, I could have done a little bit more.
Right.
But
you could have did lighter weights and more reps or something like that,
right.
And then just did more like weight resistance stuff against your body's
Yes.
weight and so forth, and kind of did some
The
strengthening.
the shoulder program is what ultimately led to the elbow going out, the ligament going out. And if this gets weak, you drop down your arm slot and you put a lot more pressure on your elbow, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then it's the other way around. If your elbow's too strong coming off the surgery and you haven't done your rehab correctly, you're going to blow this out next, and then you're really in trouble. Yes.
So you became a free agent, and then that's when you went into becoming a pitching coach.
That's
right.
That's correct.
And so that was in 2009.
That was 2009. Became a free agent. Did not get signed back with the Marlins.
Okay. Marlins, you missed out. I'm just saying.
Well, was dreaming of one day continuing baseball, as a coach.
Right.
But I wanted to play. I wanted to prove after the surgery that I could come back and pitch. So I went to Independent Baseball League up in Atlantic League up in York, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I had played briefly with them between the Orioles and Marlins. I had gotten released from the Orioles in 2008, and it's basically where players
That's a great team too, the Orioles.
I love them.
That's awesome.
And they're doing really well this year, but they can hit. I mean, if you can hit, you're gonna win some games.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, before the Marlins ever existed, that I had always wanted to, I did end up getting to, but I had always wanted to just go to like a Dodgers game. I think because at that time, like, there was so much in like movies and different things like that I was like, oh, I just think that would be so cool.
That's one stadium I hadn't been to.
No, Dodgers.
Yes.
Dodger Stadium. So when did you become a pitching coach, and how long did you do that for? Like, how did you transition into that? Yeah, all those three questions in one.
That's right. Well, I played 2000. Well, I was continued the rehab, and it took about 18 months out of surgery that I was able to step back on the mound in a game.
Nice.
And so an independent league team that I was familiar with signed me back. And it's just where, when I say independent ball, it's where pitchers that have been released or injured. They're trying to get back with the team. Well, you have to be playing for a team to see you.
Right.
It's just like scouting.
And you're not in college or high school
right.
anymore, so yeah.
There are scouts that go scout these independent league teams for older veteran players that can go fill in AA or AAA. So that happened, and I finished off the year. I wasn't as effective as I used to be, but my arm felt great, so I was okay with that. And I was looking to go into spring training with somebody the next year, the following March. But this was September, so nobody called. And here comes December, and my old junior college coach, Keith Griffin, called and said, Marshall University has a volunteer assistant position available for their baseball team. And if you want to get into the college ranks as a coach, you have to get in when you have the chance.
Right.
And this was a Division I ball club, which, with no coaching experience, yes, my resume looks good as a player,
right,
and knowledge, but how, they don't know if I can coach a group of kids or not, or handle a pitching staff. Well, as a volunteer assistant, I just assist everybody.
Okay.
And I'm just there, and you are a volunteer. You're working for nothing.
Right. Like, you want to come work for free? Their
booster club, handles, anything that you may need. Housing. They put you up in an apartment, or,
Oh, that's good.
But the university cannot pay you anything as a volunteer assistant. It's got to come from outside sources, but volunteer assistants are throughout baseball. I mean, they're some really. Ron Polk was a great head coach in college at Mississippi State. He went over to Georgia, was a head coach at Georgia briefly before he went back to Mississippi State. But he is a legendary head coach, legendary, and now he is a volunteer assistant at UAB.
Oh, wow! Why would he go?
Well, he's retired as a head coach, so now
he's just wanting to volunteer.
So now he's just helping out.
Okay.
So as a young person, as a young coach, I'm looking at Ron Polk. Was able to meet him and talk to him, about baseball, and I thought to myself, if Ron Polk is a volunteer, like, I have no chance of getting up there. But it's who you know. Right. It's it's friends.
That's in anything in life, really.
It really is.
So that's why it's important to network and make great connections. So
no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. So was there at Marshall for the spring of 11. No, spring of 12. Spring of 12? Spring of 11. Spring of 11. So that was 2010. I finished playing. Spring of 11, and then summer ball went up to New York. They have a collegiate wooden bat league up there, and I was a pitching coach. That was my first pitching staff, and we did really well. I mean, I was very pleased with how I responded to the players and how they responded to me. So that led me to believe that, hey, you're going to be a coach.
Right.
You're going to be. This is what you're made to do.
Right.
And playing professional baseball and you're around so many great coaches already that, I mean, you pick their brains because you're 142 game season, 76 of those are on the road, so you got to have something to do before games, after games. It's talking to coaches, it's talking to players, and you're just taking the best of what they had to offer and using it as your own. I mean, really.
So how long were you a pitching coach for?
That was the summer, 3 years, 3 full.
Was it volunteer pitching coach the whole time?
This was in summer ball, and then 2012 I still had to finish my degree. I had 3 classes left.
Oh, wow.
So after a 14-year break.
Wow, that's great though that you finished.
2002 was my senior year at Oklahoma State, and I just put it on hold, but I knew
you don't
eventually,
need a degree to play sports.
That's true. But you need a degree to move on after
sports, correct.
So, and in coaching, they like to have, they like for their assistant coaches.
Question for you. A lot of sports players I know of, after they retire out of professional sports, they decide to become an entrepreneur and start their own companies. So why, and I'm sure that you want to at some point, I don't know, I'm not going to say, but what made you decide to, where a lot of players will go into entrepreneurship, that you decided to go within corporate America instead of starting something else or whatever?
Well, I haven't done any of that. Zero experience in working outside of baseball. Yeah, I've worked with construction companies, doing labor jobs.
Right.
Just the grinding tough it out job
stuff,
to make ends meet in the in those off seasons we were talking about. And I just I wanted to wear a nice get up, for a change and get out of the uniform.
Right.
But the real reason coming to Atlanta was I was getting married, and my wife, and my future wife, which now is
your wife,
she was in interior design.
Nice.
And so a small town of a couple thousand, there's not going to be too many interior design jobs.
A lot here.
A lot here. And she's doing very well. She works for Suzanne Castler Interiors. It's residential.
Okay.
But I knew that I was making the transition to Atlanta. There was no way I was going to ask her to come over, and financially, we were going to be better off me coming here. In worst case scenario, I could do baseball lessons. I said, well, if I can't find anything, I'm going to do lessons and be fine. There's several baseball facilities, and I mean, who wouldn't want, if I'd had the opportunity growing up to go take lessons from somebody that played
professionally
and knows and knows the game.
You can give them tips and how to network and stuff to get in and mentor them and coach them. Maybe not curse at them like you got cursed at.
That's right. For sure.
Again.
So, it goes back to zero experience, really. I was like, what do I do? I mean, sales was number one on the list because I felt like my personality was just met a salesman. I could see myself going out, calling on customers, talking baseball, talking hunting, talking fishing, anything. I'm a huge outdoors guy, and I stress hunting and fishing rather than hunting and fishing.
Right.
I had to get the right dialect.
That's okay. You're in Atlanta. There's a lot of country people here.
And I'm glad. Yes, I'm glad to see that. I feel.
And then you have people from me that are from even further south, like South Florida, but that's not southern at all. I'm more northern, like upstate New York or whatever. so the company and now coming from sales myself, and after you've been in sales and you have that opportunity to make really kind of like bring in your own money and stuff like that, you do have the opportunity to really write your own paycheck per se. So it's kind of similar to entrepreneurship. It's for people that are drivers and like going out and meeting with people and stuff like that. So the company that you currently work with now is CWC Business Solutions, Business Made Simple, and this is their tagline. So just share a little bit really quick, like a 30-second elevator pitch about what they do and what they do for companies.
CWC Business Solutions is basically, in a nutshell, it's trade show giveaways, promotional products. Number one. And everybody uses promotional products. It's amazing. And trade show giveaways, your custom apparel, your events. I mean, it goes down to the napkins, little toothpicks you put in food. I mean, everything can have a logo put on it. Really. I mean, it's endless possibilities. And it's just a great business because we're number one, CWC Office Furnishings. We're a division of the office furniture. It's Herman Miller, largest Herman Miller dealer in the Southeast. And we'll work on these.
Chairs.
Get you some nice Aeron chairs by Herman Miller for sure. But it's just business made simple is because it's going to relate to our customer service. Number one, that's what you want. That's what I would want when I make a call to somebody looking for their business. And will you be there if something goes wrong? Because nobody's perfect.
Nothing in life is perfect.
And we're relying as a distributor. We're relying on suppliers to make us look good. The customers relying on us to make them look good. As their marketing, campaign or whatever it may be. So having somebody to be there for them
is awesome.
And my first client, my first customer, I will not say her name, but she is a very lovely lady. I asked her, my pitch to her was, really, who do you order from? And she said, well, I order online. I said, well, who do you call if something goes wrong? She's like, nobody. I was like, well, here's my card. Give me a chance to get you a quote. If something goes wrong, which we guarantee our work. If we don't meet your enhanced date or you're not completely satisfied with your order, it's 100% money back guarantee, which is hard to to do for a small business.
Right.
A bigger business has the backing, has the funding to be able to do that. And the relationship started right there because she was saying, well, daggone, it's the same price or better.
Right.
I've
and
got
you have
a guy,
someone that you can call. That's the biggest thing, yeah.
That's right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because in sales or whatever, that's one of the biggest things also is that my customers have my cell phone number and have the ability to be able to get in touch with me and transparent. And I'm like on top of other people, like you need to get this done immediately and make sure that my customer's taken care of,
No doubt.
So that's huge. So Nick McCurdy, who is former professional baseball player, now a professional in corporate America,
I like that.
wearing the get-up. The corporate America button-up tie. Well, no tie.
I didn't wear the
that's fine.
This is a laid-back atmosphere.
Exactly.
Like
As you can see, I'm like not in corporate America attire today. And so is there any last thing, like one maybe quick tip that you'd like to give to people that are looking to get into professional sports?
Wow. Just stay healthy. Don't overdo it in the weight room. Just have fun, enjoy the game. I know a lot of parents are starting their kids out young, playing fall, spring, summer, winter. Play multiple sports. One interesting stat was 28 out of the 30 first round NFL picks in the draft. 28 out of the first 30 or 30 out of the first 32 NFL players in the first round played 2 sports in high school.
Oh, wow.
So that's NFL. So imagine as far as MLB, I played high school football and baseball. It can be done. You can play basketball and baseball. I mean, just mix it up and give them a chance to have a break.
That way they can get an idea of what else that they like.
That's right.
So. Well, everyone, I just want to thank Nick for coming in today. We really appreciate it. And if you go to CWC, if you need any kind of business solutions, please go to c-w-c.com, or you can just Google CWC Business Solutions and make sure you ask for Nick McCurdy because he's awesome. We met at an Atlanta Business Journal conference, and you were just absolutely fantastic. And I just have to say thank you to your company also. They do invest in small business owners and business companies.
Absolutely.
So they are huge in investing into the community as well. And I just would like to say on the radio, thank you so much for believing in me and Connecting Atlanta and the Educate Atlanta Business Conference. We really appreciate that. We look forward to seeing you next Saturday there. And that truly means a lot because you had no idea who I am or what we can deliver to you or anything like that. So that means a lot. And anyhow, okay, fantastic. CWC Business Solutions. This is Jacqueline Waller with Connecting Atlanta Radio. Tune in every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. We air right here on WorldStarHitRadio.com. And you have a fantastic evening.
The hottest music, R&B, hip-hop, pop,
I still get you.
reggae, EDM, indie, old school,
Side. Check it.
and sports talk.
Right here.
WorldStarHitRadio.com.